Less than 48 hours until Election Day, and races are coming down to the wire, and Republicans are pulling out all the stops, including racist fear-mongering. Just listen to Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson talk about his opponent, Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, on the campaign trail Friday.
You said, in Wisconsin, it's actually scarier, racism is, because we've institutionalized it. We conceal it. He called it concealed carry racism. Now, what does that say about what he thinks of all of you? You got to scratch your head. Why would he even want to represent a group of people who he thinks is institutionalized racism, but we just conceal it well? Do you want him representing you? Yeah. I kind of figured I knew what the answer was there.
Joining me now is Mandela Barnes, current Wisconsin Lieutenant Governor and candidate for United States Senate. You should know we also reached out to the Ron Johnson campaign, and our team has not heard back. Lieutenant Governor, thanks for coming back to the Sunday Show. I'd love your reaction to that soundbite from Senator Johnson.
Absolutely. Well, Ron Johnson has spent the last 12 years, and he spent this entire campaign trying to divide the state of Wisconsin. He's also just trying to distract from his failed record. I mean, this is a very, very desperate man right here that we're watching in real time. Now, that's what happens when you're the worst senator that we've had since Joe McCarthy, a person who's left working people behind every step of the way, a person who's coming after your Social Security and retirement benefits. The folks that he was talking to, I'm sure he didn't want to have the conversation about the fact that he wants to put Social Security and Medicare on the chopping block or raise the retirement age to 70 years old. I'm sure he was not having the conversation with those people about the fact that his multi-million-dollar business pays $0 in state income taxes since 2013. And I'm also sure that he didn't have a conversation with them about the tax breaks that he wrote in the law to save people money to buy private planes. And what happened? His family's turned around about 3 private planes. I'm pretty sure there weren't a whole bunch of private plane owners in that audience. And that's all Ron Johnson can do, is try to distract from what he's doing. And that's the fact that he's left those folks behind that he was talking to have that conversation, just to try to make it seem like something else is going on to cover up the fact that he isn't there for us.
Let me play you another soundbite from your opponent telling NBC News whether he'd accept Tuesday's results.
Do you commit to accepting the results of Tuesday's election?
We have in place a lot of observers, we have a lot of poll workers, and our whole purpose was to restore confidence in our election system. I sure hope I can, but I can't predict what the Democrats might have planned.
So, Lieutenant Governor, why won't Wisconsin voters believe Johnson's anti-democracy rhetoric is dangerous?
Look, this is the height of arrogance. He tried this in 2020. He didn't get the election result that he liked, so he tried to overturn a free and fair election by submitting false and fraudulent electors to the vice president. Supported a violent insurrection because of it. An attempted overthrow of the government because his arrogance is that high. Now, he wasn't successful when he tried it then, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure he isn't successful this time. And I've committed to accepting the results of the election. But folks want to help us make sure that we are victorious this Tuesday. Please go to MandelaBarnes.com to help us out.
Oh, that was actually very fast. I thought you froze there for a second. I'm sorry about that.
No, you got to get to the point. You got to be succinct about these things.
No, like right. You are very good at this. So listen. Incumbents always have an advantage because people know who they are, they're familiar with them. But you're the current Lieutenant Governor of Wisconsin. What's your message to voters who might look at the ballot and say, I'm just going to vote for Ron Johnson because he's been around for more than a decade?
Well, this is a vote for the future of our state. And the fact that he's been around for more than a decade is probably the main reason that he needs to go. Because for these 12 years, he has been in it for himself, not the people of Wisconsin, not for our small business owners, not for our family farmers who've been struggling, losing a family farm at the rate of 1 per day because of consolidation. These big corporations have stacked the deck against the family farmer who's given us our identity as the dairy state. For working people who Ron Johnson wants to send your job out of state and overseas, it's time to vote for a change. For the women of this state, who he's told to move if they don't like laws like our 1849 criminal abortion ban. It's time for the women of the state to band together and move Ron Johnson out of the U.S. Senate. For the folks who've worked their entire lives, have given everything, and hope to at least, retire with some sort of comfort. And the fact that Ron Johnson wants to take that away from you and potentially send you back into the workforce and raise the retirement age to 70 years old, it's time to step up and vote for your own life, vote for the people around you to make sure that quality of life is improved for all of us so that we can move forward as a state together. That's the motto of our state for a reason. We have a real chance to live up to it this November 8th.
In the minute that we have left, since you've been traveling around Wisconsin, hearing from voters, our NBC News poll today shows that threats to democracy is the #1 concern of those polled, followed by jobs in the economy, cost of living, abortion, immigration, border. What are you hearing out on the campaign trail from Wisconsin voters?
Certainly hear the threats to democracy, and Ron Johnson is the greatest threat to democracy. And certainly hear about the economy. And the reality is we see rising costs at the gas pump, these oil and gas executives who are making record profits. We need leaders in office who are going to hold them accountable and stand up to them, not the folks who are going to stand side by side with them as they jack up prices on the American people. And as prices go up at the grocery store, we need people who are going to stand up to these large corporate monopolies and say enough is enough. People are going to actually stand with the folks who are being impacted by these issues, not standing side by side with the folks who are causing more harm just because they're contributing to your campaign. We need to do so much more for the American people. Ron Johnson has refused to do a single thing, and all those issues that he brought up are especially important. We need to do everything we can to bring about some civility and some decency back to our government. Ron Johnson is standing right in the way of that progress.